Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ranting Shop with me, Melissa. Today, we're going to be discussing Ready to Love Season 6, Episode 6. Today's episode was interesting to say the least, but because I don't really get any convincing connections among any of them, it makes it very difficult for me to watch through the entire episode. So that's why it took me so long to do this review. It's because I was struggling to watch in its entirety. Anyways, let's just get into things. So the guys meet at the lounge and we get a little bit of foreshadowing from Tommy when he lets the guys know that later on in that episode there would be some kind of session where the contestants would be able to vent. So they're speaking again about be intentional, be this, do that. So that, I guess, meeting ended, and then LJ and Charisse go salsa dancing. Now, I hate to see Charisse on any date because I don't believe there's anything there with anyone. Not even with Samson that she claims to have a connection with. It's just very difficult for me to look at Charisse and see softness and femininity from her. She comes across so hard and tough to me. And so when I see her on dates with men, it looks as if I'm looking at two men going out on a date with each other. There's just nothing there. Like, I just hate that the nature of this show requires you to kind of force something, even if you know you don't or not attracted to that person. You kind of have to force a connection for the show's sake, and that is what she's doing. And I don't blame her because it's like, that's what you have to do. Not everybody's gonna connect with everyone. Sometimes people know that very early on, but they kind of have to stay because of the show, kind of. So that's Charisse's case. Now, she made sure to tell us that she's not really into LJ. LJ is not really her type, but he's present and he's a good time. They go salsa dancing. She's terrible at dancing, and he had to tell her, let me lead you. And I think that's a very big issue with Charisse. She has issues with letting or allowing men to lead her. I feel like she sees men as maybe just somebody to have, but I don't really think she's able, or she's at this point where she's able to trust them. So maybe that's why it just comes across like Charisse just has this big wall and she's just going through the emotions, but there's just no intent there, there's no passion there, there's no very little interest there as well. But LJ tried his best and he made it work, but it was a very dry date. Then we have Randall and Jamala. They go decorating a glass decorating thing. And remember last episode, Jamala and Kayla were going back and forth about who did what with Randall. So I told you guys the last episode that is the energy she was going on this date with, somewhat of a vengeance energy. Like, you kissed him, that's my rara. Like, how dare you kiss him before I get to kiss him? And so this whole date, I could see that she wanted to kiss him from the very beginning. I could see that she wanted that intimacy with him. I could just tell, and I feel like it has a direct correlation with that ladies' lounge where Kayla divulged that she kissed him. And they named their glass olive juice, and she was very strategic about naming it because she mentioned olive juice. When you say it very quickly, it sounds like I love you, and that is very manipulative. It's kind of like forcing somebody to say they love you without really saying it. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, they shared the kiss. It looked like it was a very good kiss. She asked him about meeting his family and stuff like that, and he mentioned his mom would like her because she has multiple personalities and so on and so forth. And the energy from Randall, I'm not getting the energy from Randall that he's really into Jamala. I'm not getting the energy that he's really into any of them at this point. It just seems like he's laying back and allowing them to pursue him, to go out and really date him and show him why he should choose them, and that's why men are prizes, because women are literally willing to compete with other women for a man. And the way that they brag about having a man, oh, at least I have a man, it would lead anybody to the conclusion that men are prizes. Literally, they are prizes. Women don't put themselves in a position to be a prize. They put themselves in a position to be a competitor. You see Kayla and Jamala and the way they were being petty over Randall. I didn't see Chanika doing that. So, and in the beginning I mentioned Chanika being his strongest connection. But I changed my mind after seeing that in one men's lounge, he mentioned that Chanika kept laughing so hard for jokes that were not funny and things that, were baffling to him. Like, why are you laughing? So now that he mentioned that, my view of Chanika slightly changed from one that was just very easy to talk to, easy to deal with, and just feminine and so on, into someone that maybe is not the most genuine, or maybe she's nervous. I don't know what it is, but she's doing a little too much. Then we have Randall and Jamala. They had the kiss. And Swayze, Justice, Shakira, Looney, they go on a date. Shakira brings up Kadian and her loose tongue again. Looney, before going into Looney, Shakira is stressing me out. She is draining my energy. Seeing somebody cry every 2 seconds about their trauma is not the best viewing entertainment. It's repetitive. It's too much. The way they're dragging that out is irritating. Yes, we know she said something that you were not pleased with. I completely understand that. But you're dragging it on. This is like literally the 3rd episode at this point. I'm kind of sick of it. But I do empathize with whatever trauma she has gone through, of course. So Looney and Justice, they go on a date, and to my surprise, this man is saying Looney is his strongest connection. At this point, I just feel like he's grabbing onto whoever is willing to grab onto him. It doesn't seem genuine. I don't see anything there, and I'm kind of sick of this whole season, to be honest. All I see is people faking connections, but I don't see a genuine interest in anyone. I just hope Justice goes next week, because just like how I feel like Charisse is kind of fake, I feel like he's just as fake as Charisse. And he doesn't benefit any woman for him to stay, because he's just gonna end up wasting their time. So anyways, Brandy and Samson. No guy wanted to get to know Brandy, she said in her dating experience. She mentioned they kind of showed her a representative. They were never honest about their true intentions, and it was just not the most positive experience for her. And so Samson was very sweet. Do I think that because he bought her some souvenir some book to document her escapades and stuff like that, which was very cute and thoughtful, seeing as she is a flight attendant. But I don't see the connection from Brandy's perspective. These people are going on dates. Brandy is going on dates, but you can tell she's locked into Mike. You can tell. And I remember at around this time, the couple, what's their name, Joy and the other guy, were completely done with the process at that time. I understand, because it's like, when you find your person, what is the point of wasting your time going out on dates with people you're not interested in. Like, it makes no sense. But you have to stay with it because that's the nature of the show. So she's there. She was nice. She enjoyed her date. Samson is thoughtful. She's not into him, though. She's into Mike. And I don't even really think Samson is that into Brandy either. Or maybe he's just, I don't know, having wishful thoughts. But it seems like Brandy and Mike are pretty stuck in, glued in, locked in, I suppose. So we have Mike and Kayla. They go out on a little what date? What kind of pool date? And Kayla feels as if Mike is not reciprocating the same amount of energy that she's reciprocating, and she feels like despite you having a connection with Brandy, that shouldn't stop you from forming something with me, and I agree with her, because the nature of the show is to form multiple connections, not to get one and lock yourself into that one. You know what I'm saying? That never goes well for that show, the way that show is formatted. So she was kind of like letting him know that, and then they were trying to play, and the winner was supposed to get a kiss. I don't know what it is about Kayla and kisses being the prize, but for me, so far, that has not gone well for her. She did that with Swayze and Alonzo. Alonzo looked like he was disgusted with that kiss. Here she is trying to kiss Mike, and I feel like what Kayla is doing is quite dangerous, because I think it's very strategic, and later on it will be used as a weapon against the other women to kind of either break up their connection or have the other women questioning how strong their connections are with the men that they chose. We could see that, like, let's look at the Jamala thing. Her saying she kissed Randa really put a touch under Jamala's butt, to the point where she felt like she needed to kiss him back. Now, I think what's gonna happen is, if Mike, who was also very smart, because he decided against kissing her on the lip, he kissed her on the cheek. And I feel like he did that out of respect for Brandy, because at the end of the day, despite what Kayla might want, he is locked into Brandy, and I think that's his strongest connection, and that's who he wants to leave her with. So as much as he is going out on dates with other people, it's basically like he's a couple. He and Brandy is a couple, and he's trying not to kind of disrespect her, because he knows, I'm pretty sure he knows, that when these women go on dates with these men, their names are being spoken about left and right in discussions that the women have. So these men need to act in a way that is strategic and that doesn't have them looking bad, when they go back and confront certain situations. So I completely am here for Mike not kissing Kayla, because Kayla seems like she's gonna use that kiss to discuss, oh, she kissed Mike at a women's lounge, and Brandy's not gonna take it well at all. So they're talking smack back and forth. He's throwing jabs like, watch out for Jamala because of the Randall thing, and she doesn't really have many strong connections. That's what Mike alluded to. Do I think that Kayla has strong connections? The strongest connection I believe Kayla has is with Randall, and Randall is juggling her, Tranika, and Jamala. So, and he's made it clear that Jamala is his strongest connection. So I don't think Kayla has any strong connection. So in that sense, I agree with Mike. But yeah, he was not trying to kiss her, because I think he knew what she was trying to do with that kiss, and he was not having it. And I'm glad he didn't fall into that trap. Now, there's another group date: Samson, Katie, and Tranika, Swayze, Mike, Cherise. And there's some tension between Kadian and Cherise, because remember, Kadian decided to call out Cherise at that women's lounge, and Cherise wasn't too fond of that, because Cherise felt like despite whatever I said to him, he should not have like came at me in that way, which I do agree. Do I feel as if Sherry pokes the bear? Yes, she probably does. Do I feel like she plays the victim? She does. She definitely does. But if she felt like what Alonzo did was uncalled for, I feel like she's justified in feeling how she feels, because a lot of people felt that way as well. So they decided to stay away from each other for good measure. Charisse and Samson speak on her side. He tells her what the most romantic thing he did for a date, which is fly her to Paris, have a romantic dinner. Of course, she likes to hear that. Do I feel like Samson is her type? Nope. I feel like her type was Devin. Devin left. And I guess there was nobody that she was sexually attracted to after that. Swayze and Kadian start talking. She's asking him, what is this? And he's saying basically it's lust, because at the end of the day, I don't really know you enough to really see beyond lust at this point. But at least Swayze is being honest. His honesty is not enough honesty for her. I feel like when people say that, it's because they feel like they know what the person wants to say, and when the person doesn't say it, they feel like they're holding back. But at the end of the day, you cannot really assume somebody's feelings. Just accept what they have to say about you. He also mentioned some very accurate things. She does eat a lot. We saw her with that rib, and she definitely does talk a whole lot, according to Shakira. Loose tongue. Anyways, they have a group dinner to clear the air with Tommy, and these people took the opportunity to let other contestants know their honest perceptions of them. So Jamala wants Randall to hurry up and pick a side, and she also wanted to know what the problem was with her and Shakira. Shakira made it known that she had to distance herself from a lot of the women because she doesn't trust them, because she was vulnerable with Kadian, and she felt as if Kadian kind of told the men something that she wanted to be able to tell them. Now, do I think Kadian said a lot of personal, painfully accurate, raw details about the thing with Shakira? I don't know. She alluded to that being the case, but from what we saw as viewers, we didn't get any details, so we still don't know what's going on with Shakira. But whatever Kadian said, it hurt her, so she decided to confront Kadian. When Kadian tried to defend herself, Shakira was like, I don't want to stay there and call you out of your name. She left. She's like, Kadian is lying. She's not telling the truth. And out of respect for this process and for these people, I don't want to curse her out, whatever the case is. I guess we'll know the details of that at the reunion. But I'm done speaking about that. Charisse says something about Mike's. Mike said something about opening up to this process. He denies saying it. Swayze, we learn that Swayze ignores Looney when she calls him. Killer wants Mike to reciprocate. He stands with her. Brandy's like, what the hell is going on here? Like, she was not feeling that. Now, I've noticed that Mike is a kind of guy that does not like any kind of criticism. Look at when Charisse called his children baggage. He did not take that in a positive light. He took it very negatively, and his response is to get you back by saying something equally as demeaning to you. Whenever Charisse says something to him, he cuts her off immediately, as we saw in this lounge. But with Kayla, he has something with Kayla. He's interested in Kayla. So instead of allowing Kayla to say what she had to say from across the room, he felt the need to kind of go face to face with her so that it can, in a sense, intimidate her to not be as honest as she would otherwise be if they were sitting across the room. And so, as a result of that intimidation tactic that he pulled on Kayla, whatever she wanted to say, she buttered it down to just the fact that there are feels and there's lack of reciprocation. I'm pretty sure if that intimidation wasn't at play, she would have been more honest as to what she really wanted to say, you know. And then I didn't address this, but when Brandy mentioned Samson buying gifts for people, I don't see a problem with that. At the end of the day, Brandy has already narrowed down her choice to Mike, and that's fine. But the nature of the show is for you to date multiple people. So if his process is gifting people things and letting them know that he listens and he knows how to, I guess, make their lives somewhat better in a sense, I don't see a problem with that. At the end of the day, he's marketing himself. Brandy is still Mike's number one. We learned that in the men's lounge. LJ likes Chanika, we know that. Jamala is Randall's number one. Who ended up going home, it was between Cherise and Shakira, and rightfully so, Shakira got sent home. Am I surprised? No. She should have been sent home, because I was kind of sick about her moping through this experience. I was done with it. So yes, that's my analysis of today's episode. I didn't want to spend too much time discussing too much stuff. Kadian has made it very clear to everyone, as I said already, Swayze is her man. She's posted several videos of him and her going out on dates, having escapades. So I'm happy for them, but I feel like that was a little premature of her to post that when the season hasn't even finished yet. Yes, I do understand they've already taped their reunion, but still, the season hasn't finished yet. So like, what are you doing? But anyways, she couldn't wait to make it clear, because she feels as if the people are not, or the show is not portraying her in the best of light, and so she feels the need to be ahead of the enemy, you know, and speak her truth. Her calling Shakira a B was uncalled for. I understand you're upset and you want to clear your name, but there's a way to do that without calling somebody disrespectful names. Beyond that, that literally is everything I had to discuss about this show. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.